Did you know that you can be one shot to the thorax in Tarkov currently with bullets that deal much less than 85 damage? Today we're looking at two issues with hitboxes and damage. Firstly, BSG's update of the arm and plate bug that we looked at recently here on the channel, and secondly, the infamous thorax one-tap issue that has been around since the neck hitbox got adjusted. I was speaking to Velian recently on this, and from one of his clips I think I've finally figured out what is going on. But first, let's look at BSG's update to see whether it's actually working properly. In the latest technical update, we see the line "fixed an issue where the thorax armor hitbox would not receive damage if a bullet had penetrated the arm before hitting the armor." This relates specifically to the problem that we looked at a few weeks ago, where high-pen bullets would basically just get absorbed by an armor plate if they traveled through the arm first. This meant that even if you had something like 338 Lapua Magnum AP, the highest pen round in the whole game that you can actually carry about, someone with a class 3 armor on would prevent the bullet from killing you if it went through their arm first because of some strange interaction with multiple hitboxes at the same time. In this case, arm, plate, and then soft. Okay, so the first one is to retest whether the arm bug is still here or not after the patch has been put through. So I've got exactly the same setup as I did last time. I've got SSA-P inside this. This is 5.56 bullet. This is a very good one. It is 57 pen and 38 damage. I already ejected a round out of the M4 just to make sure that it is definitely SSA-P in here. And this one should go straight through. I've got two lasers because it just makes it a lot easier to work this out. And if we shoot here, bam, into the arm, we can see that we do in fact take arm damage, we take thorax damage. So here we have been dealt 38, which is exactly the rating of the bullet. Here we've been dealt 30 because it's going through armor. The Corund has had a damaged front plate. It's also got a damaged chest plate here. So this does actually look like it's working, which is good. I haven't seen any issues. I've tested this a few times. This is probably the third or fourth test that I've done on this, and it seems to all be working just fine, honestly. So I'm pretty confident at this point that it seems to be working okay. Maybe there's going to be some other fringe area where it doesn't work or whatever. We'll probably uncover that as time goes on, as people report things to me. What is kind of interesting is that you see a number of different shots here. I think that's because there's 3 different layers involved. You've got the front plate, the soft armor, and also the PMC's body. But it's a bit weird that you end up with 3 different shots. We'll just show you again one more time just to see. I think it's a little harder if you actually do open up the menu, but let's just do it anyway. I'll get really close and we'll just boom, fire up into the thorax like that. And then we've still got the chest armor and the front plate going down in damage. So this one does look like it's fine. So with that fixed, we're going to look at the next part of this video, which is regarding a one-tap bug that I've had reported to me by quite a few people, including Velian, and we're going to have a look at his clip here to see exactly how this occurs. And this seems to have happened after the neck hitbox got redistributed to the thorax. So what should happen when you get hit in the neck, rather than it going to the head hitbox, dealing 35 HP, it now goes to the thorax hitbox, giving you 85 HP to play with before you die. This means that there's only a very, very small number of bullets that should actually kill you now, things like PS12B or 366 APM, stuff like that, things that have over an 85 damage rating that are close up, and if they hit you in the neck without any protection or any armor or anything, then you should actually die. However, that's been happening to other people in situations that it really doesn't look like it should be. So let's go and watch this clip from Velian for a second, and then I'll show you exactly how this is happening.
Dogs running. Yep, that was gonna happen. Ugh, thorax. That man just... What? That man just one-shot me with a thorax shot through a level 5 armor, and it hit me 3 times and killed me?
So the reason why this is confusing is, as you can see, we've got T46M dealing 2 shots to the thorax and actually killing Velian, which is really, really super weird. Now I'll show you how this happens with a single shot. So here we have my player character with an M4, again with SSA-P. We've got a Corund on still, and we're going to be shooting at my opponent here. We're going to lift right up like this, and I'm going to shoot just in here. Now, when we go and have a look at the damage dealt, this looks very, very normal. So this is 38, as you might imagine. This Corund armor is only class 2 around the neck, as you can see here. There's a little indicator there with the armor points, and it's only class 2. So it shouldn't defend anything, and also now it's zeroed, so it's not going to work at all anymore. So you're just going to get hit by 38 every single time. This is working as intended, but what is not working as intended is when you're actually facing your opponent, and you get hit here, in basically the same place around the neck. Not only do you take damage from the neck hitbox, but you also take damage by virtue of it going through the front plate as well. And this is a really strange bug. I'm not sure exactly why this occurs at this moment, but this is what's happening. So anytime that you shoot somebody in the neck and they have front plate armor on, and it goes through the front plate as well as going through the neck at the same time, you actually end up getting double damage. As we saw there, this did way more damage than SSAP is rated for. For SSAP, it doesn't kill you in one hit because, as we can see on my other screen, this thing only does 38 damage. So when you do get shot with this, it ends up being 76 damage, which isn't enough to one-shot the thorax. So you end up on 8 or 9 HP, something like that. And sometimes a little bit more, depending on exactly what armor it is that you're defending against. What is very strange, though, is that now that this is 0, if we then shoot in the same place again, I'm just going to get out of this menu so I can actually get the shot in a bit more easily. Like so. You now see that it doesn't happen anymore. We were shooting in exactly the same place. We do have 0 neck armor. This only occurs when the armor front plate still actually has durability on it, which is really, really odd. I'm going to swap over to a different armor just so I can show you this again so you can see exactly what's going on. So I'm going to take the Gen 4. And this has got a class 3 neck instead this time. This one, as you can see, like there. So class 3 neck. And this one is full at the moment. Now, hopefully I can get this in the right place first try. Otherwise, that's going to be quite annoying. But it's basically when people are facing down. If you're facing up like this, you can hit the neck hitbox without interacting with the front plate. But when the person is like this, the 2 hitboxes seem to overlap in some kind of way. I'm just going to get it perfectly set up. If I shoot right here, hoping this works. It's a bit tricky to get it to do it, but there we go. So you can see we've done way more damage than we should. We've got double damage, effectively. And this is why on Velian's end screen, you can see that there's 2 shots to the thorax, even though it's kind of like through the neck area, which is being redistributed, and it's hitting twice. I presume it's hitting the neck hitbox once, and then the thorax hitbox the second time, something along those lines. But it's because this is still present. If you take this out of here, and you remove the front plate, you will see that you don't actually get this anymore. So let's go back. I haven't moved my PMCs at all. Just wait for the sway. Bam. And now, the neck hitbox is still getting damaged, but we're no longer taking the double damage bug. So basically, it's the front plate that's actually causing you to get hit twice when you get hit in this specific area. It's not enough that I think you shouldn't be taking armor, because most of the time, you're not going to get hit here. It's a very, very specific area that you get shot in. Obviously, if you get shot right here in the chest, then it's not going to be dealing double damage. It just deals a regular amount of damage because it's not interacting with the neck hitbox at the same time. It has to be going through the neck hitbox and also the front plate simultaneously to get this doubling up. But now I'll show you why this ends up being a big problem for a lot of different weapons. So here I have a Mosin, and I'm going to demonstrate something for you here. So this has got T46 inside, and this is 82 damage and 41 pen, and you could probably see why that is going to be an issue. If you get a double damage bug, then it's going to kill you straight away. Now, one interesting part about this is that if you do have 41 pen and you're going against class 5 armor, and this is the reason why I don't think it's worth like not wearing any armor, is because if you're going against class 5, if it doesn't pen the plate, you won't take the damage. It's only if it pens through and then is hitting the neck and the front hitbox at the same time that it actually causes some problems. So when I shoot first against a class 5 armor, with this particular ammo, it's actually probably not going to do anything. It's just going to damage the armor and give a bit of blunt damage, and that's about it. But if we get this armor down low enough, now we've got it down to 15 out of 60. I've been hitting this a couple of times while you couldn't see off screen. Now, when I shoot towards the neck, it should see that it kills our PMC. So when it goes through and it has enough pen to get through the plate, it then also interacts with the neck protection as well as the front plate at the same time. Then you die in a single shot, and that single shot does get listed as thorax here, which is technically supposed to be impossible, but it can happen because of this, which is a bit weird. So which bullets benefit from this the most in between it getting fixed? Well, effectively you want enough damage so that you can double it up and get a kill, even through something like class 5 armor. And you can see for 762x39 PP, this is on tarkovgunsmith.com, by the way, on the Ballistics Simulator page that I use quite often. Even though this has 41 pen and 59 damage, when it gets actually through the armor, it only deals 32.6. So doubling that up is not going to be enough to kill. So PP actually isn't good enough. If we go to another 762x39 round, BP is obviously very good. And this one deals 43.8. So that is actually just over the threshold BP. You can see you do actually need quite a lot of damage to get through a class 5 and a class 2. We're simulating a Corund plate here. So it would actually be even very slightly harder if you've got like a CPC or a Defender 2 or something that has a class 3 armor behind. The rounds that are obviously very good are things like M80, anything in the 762x51 NATO, because this will deal 51 damage. It's only a 23% pen chance when it comes through, but it's got 51 penetration damage when it actually does so. So sometimes you will just one-shot people with M80. As we saw before, 762T46M, that will work out of a Mosin. Basically anything with decent penetration, so it's actually going to be able to go through a class 5 plate, and then a high enough damage so that the damage mitigation doesn't take it low enough. This is one thing that people often underestimate about armor and how much it protects you, is that M80 does 80 damage, but once it's gone through the very first layer, through the class 5, that whittles away quite a lot of the damage of the bullet. If you go onto the single shot, you can see exactly what this is. And so from 80 damage through the first section, you get penetrated damage of 55.2. And then as it goes through the second layer, it only has a penetration of 30. So then this gets reduced by the class 2 armor. It gets reduced a lot more if it's class 3, by the way. Then it gets reduced from 55.2 down to 51 when it penetrates. So when you do the multi-shot, this is why you only see a penetration damage of 51 going through on the first hit. However, something like M61, which I'm probably be talking about relatively soon, this is going to go through everything like butter, and sometimes you'll just one-shot them because of the way that this works now. So high pen rounds are really, really good at the moment until BSG fix this bug, and I think it's all to do with the neck hitbox redistributing into the thorax, and something is counting twice. Don't know exactly why, but you're getting one shot from the neck itself, and you're getting another shot maybe from the thorax as it travels through the front plate, because then that redistributes it to the chest as well. It doesn't even look like it's a blunt damage thing, like was sort of misleading on Velian's clip. It said that he died to blunt damage, and I'm actually not sure if that was the case, because it's labeling it as blunt damage, I think, because it's coming through the armor plate, but it's dealing the full value. As we saw with SSAP, it's dealing the full value to the PMC's body. So watch out for this one. If you do get one tapped by any high pen and high damage rounds, then now at least you know the reason why. Hopefully BSG get around to this and have a look at it and fix it relatively soon, because I've seen lots of people talking about it. I've not had it that much myself, but I've had tons of clips from other people as well. But Velian's one was the most clear cut, most obvious to see, because he's got the end screen. Like, if you've ever got any problems with ballistics or anything like that, please make sure that you're recording your clips that I see beforehand, so you can actually see which part of the body it was when you died up in the top left hand corner, because that really helps. Then which bullet it actually was and where on the body was damaged previously and that kind of thing. It just having the full clip really helps, and like mousing over everything to make sure that we get to see it. That really helps figure out some of this stuff. So finally been able to actually figure it out. So with that, as usual, a big shout out to all my patrons, and as always, have fun not getting one tapped in your raids.